Welcome back to the Sommelier Corner for November. Hope you've been enjoying these videos and articles through the year. Today we're trying a fun wine, but before we get into that, I thought I'd address the elephant in the room. Why is David wearing a jacket during this video? Well, the short answer is I'm wearing a green shirt and standing in front of a green screen. So in order to avoid any complications with that, I threw on our nice Kai monogrammed Columbia jacket, which I wear all the time, and just wanted to make sure that we didn't interrupt the video because of this shirt that I was wearing. Anyhow, the wine I have for you this month, similar to last month's Madeira for October of 2025, it has a really fun winemaking style incorporated into this wine. I also think it's going to pair wonderfully with a Thanksgiving dinner, particularly the dark meat though. With that said, what we're trying today is the Valpolicella Ripassa Superiore from 2020, made by Zenato. So Zenato has been making wine in Valpolicella since 1960. They're definitely integral to the area, and this Ripassa style is a really cool way to make wine. So I've mentioned it twice. What does that mean? So Ripassa literally just means poured over. And so what happens is, this is made with Corvina, and similar to Amarone, but Amarone, they do an appassimento style, which means they dry out all the grapes over the course of several months, actually, on some straw mats. And so they take that, they make the Amarone wine, and then once they're done making that wine, they drain all the wine juice out, and you're left with what's called pomace, and you pour the Valpolicella over that pomace. And so you actually trigger a second fermentation, which is great because there's a lot of sugar in the grapes, so that turns into alcohol, and it just really creates a much rounder style than a classic Valpolicella Corvina would. So it's got a little bit more depth, a little bit more weight, and while Amarone may not like this, I like to call it a baby Amarone. Because it's certainly not all the way there. They're not drying out the grapes for this wine. They're just passing it over the other grapes from the Amarone. Now, they do some other great things, and just some other interesting tidbits to mention really quickly is the soils or moraine soils. So it's just this nice assortment of well-draining soils that creates, as you know, I like to say this, creates struggle for the wine. And we want wines that struggle because it means more concentrated grapes and more concentrated flavors. And that's how you know you've got a good wine. It's good concentration. Like people, once you persevere through struggle, you come out better on the other side. So we're going to just do a quick tasting note with this. In addition to all the info I just gave you, I'm going to whiz through in approximately 2 minutes the advanced tasting notes. I'm going to try and keep it quick and to the point, so I might skip over a couple of points that I don't think are necessarily key. Now, the first thing to notice is the wine color. I mean, that is almost opaque, so that's a purple for sure, which I love a good purple wine. That usually indicates you're going to have some good tannin, good structure on there as well. For the intensity of the color on this, I'd say that this is a medium plus, and even has a little bit of rim variation, little magenta on the edge, and maybe even a silver ring on the very edge. Otherwise, the staining is fairly light, all things considered, with tearing also being more of a medium, and no evidence of gas on this when you're looking at the appearance. Now, the next thing is we go to the nose. So we'll take a quick whiff here. You get so many nice florals in there. It's not, bursting out of the glass like maybe a Pinot Noir as far as this aromatic intensity. I'd actually put it at a medium. But the very first thing I get is, like a potpourri style roses and violets, as well as I'm getting touches of the oak, so a little bit of baking spice in there, and lots of just bright cherry. I'll disseminate what kind of cherry real quick. So that's a lot of black cherry, which is a little surprising. I was expecting to find more red cherry in there, especially coming from the Corvina grape, which is 85% Corvina. But this one definitely has more black cherry, some earthy notes there, even some black olive kind of lying there under, as an undertone there. For the fruit condition, it's definitely got that dry, desiccated kind of character to it, maybe even a little bit of a baked or stewed. And that's largely going to be coming from the Ripassa method. So pouring it over those Amarone grapes, giving it that more dried character at least on the nose. I literally have not had a sip of this wine yet, so you'll see my first sip live. For earth, definitely getting touch of forest floor, but not too heavy, as well as a little bit of wet stone and mineral in there, which isn't uncommon considering those moraine soils, and these are grown around a lake, so the soils have a lot of sediment left over from a glacier pooling back, so you do get some nice mineral on that. This on the nose, I did mention some oak, so a little bit of spice there, not too much vanilla, but on the palate, oh wow, that is a dry wine. Love it. It's got great tannins, but not overpowering on the gums there, but good acid too. Like, definitely puckered me up a little bit. I'm salivating once again, which is always the best indication on the acid. Not really any phenolic bitterness. The body is a medium. It's certainly not as big as a Cabernet, and it's not as light as a Pinot Noir. It's right there in the middle. I'd put it a little below, say, a Malbec on body there, so not too heavy. The fruit condition is fantastic. It's really nice and ripe. You do still get a bit of that dried note. Otherwise, I get still some cloves. I get a little bit of that baking spice. Getting a little espresso and chocolate as well, like a mocha. But yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic wine. Definitely gonna go with cranberry sauce. I actually am getting some dried cranberry in there. And I do think it'll go great with stuffing, dark meat, gravy. I mean, this is gonna be a very food-friendly wine, as many Italian wines are. And just wanted to share it with you, share some details about it. I hope you enjoyed the quick tasting. I tried to keep them fast. I just want to give you a quick note, and then that way you can read the article and learn more about it. Have a great day, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.